sent to blitz.
Yeah.
Tannehill is sacked. Joe Burrow rolling right. Quick throw.
Nice.
Caught by Gio.
Yeah.
Dives for the pylon.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Titans had to get a stop, and they clearly have work to do.
Time now for the Real Mike Robb Report. Michael Robinson, after starting 5-0, the Titans have lost the last 2 games. They got Chicago on Sunday. You just never know which Bears team is going to show up. So how does Tennessee avoid losing their 3rd in a row?
First and foremost, MJ, when Ryan Tannehill walks up to the line of scrimmage, he better find where 52 and 96 is. I'm talking about Khalil Mack, 52, who leads this team in sacks with 6.5 sacks, and Akeem Hicks, who leads this team with 12 quarterback hits. These guys really know how to get after the quarterback, and especially Khalil Mack. He understands how to take the ball away from the opposing offense and get it back to his team so that the Tennessee Titans could possibly lose a possession. And then number 2, Ryan Tannehill has to get back to hitting those explosive play-action plays. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, he only has about a 73 passer rating on those plays. These plays are from earlier in the season when Derrick Henry can affect the defense, get Ryan Tannehill out the pocket, and get him being explosive in the passing game off of play-action. Again, when you face the Tennessee Titans, you have to worry about tackling Derrick Henry. That's why every single time you put the ball out there, the defense reacts and you get explosive opportunities downfield like you're seeing on the screen right there. And Ryan Tannehill has to make sure he hits on these. Oh, and yeah, it does help to get the ball in your best player's hands, best player on the outside hands, and A.J. Brown. Get him the ball early and often and let him go eat.
I like that little clarification there. Best player on the outside, to be clear. All right, Rob, so
Yeah.
who you got? Titans or Bears?
I got the Titans winning this one in a very close one, 27-23. I just don't know how to read the Chicago Bears team. It doesn't matter what quarterback is in there. They seem to be having some issues. I think Matt Nagy may need to think about giving up play calling duty so he can just be a head coach. For all of those reasons, I think the Tennessee Titans winning a close one.
I have the Titans as well. I have them 28-21 here, mainly because we saw what they have done throughout this year. I think the last 2 weeks, they've been through it, Rob. They have been through a lot, but they know they cannot lose another game consecutively like this. I think they get back on track this week with a dub. Rob, thank you. And get ready for the weekend. Every Saturday morning, you can catch Mike Robb, more jobs than anyone I know, and the rest of the crew serving up the latest news and the hottest takes. Good Morning Football Weekend, Saturday at 9 on NFL Network. All right, time now for some game theory. Cynthia Freeland joining me now. Welcome, Cynthia. All right, let's get to some player projections. If you agree with the projection, then you're going to run with it. If you don't, then you pass it up. So run or pass, 100 rush yards for Dalvin Cook.
We are running with this running back projection against the Lions. The Lions are very banged up on defense. Linebackers questionable, not playing. This means more Dalvin Cook opportunities. He's already had a nice, pretty good comeback last week. I don't think there's going to be 4 touchdowns in this matchup, but they got to keep Everson Griffin away from the quarterback. Kirk Cousins does not want to see his former teammate. That means run the ball, Dalvin Cook, at least 100 rushing yards.
Let him know, Sin. All right, next, run or pass, 85 receiving yards for Julio Jones this week.
I'm going to pass on this one. Not because I don't think he's going to have a good game or not because I don't think he's going to get in the end zone, but even with question marks, even with Calvin Ridley even not playing, I don't have him going over that mark. Why? This Denver defense is not going to let that happen. I think you and I might have opposite picks in this matchup.
Likely. All right, last one, run or pass, 195 pass yards for Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, I'm going to pass on this one. I don't think he's going to have a bad game, and I think he's going to get those quick passes out to try to beat the defense, but this defense is going to come at him a little bit stronger. There's some familiarity there with Cliff Kingsbury, so I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying it's not more than 195 passing yards.
I hear you. We're sticking to the numbers. I get it, Cynthia. Thank you, and you'll be back a little later for some game projections. Look forward to that.
Come back. I'll be right back.
All right, Antonio Brown is back after agreeing to a one-year deal with the Bucs worth $1.7 million. He's reunited with his former QB from New England after being away from football for over a year.
Well, I just been spending a lot of time with family, working on myself with them, and just staying resilient. You know, keeping the mind on the mission. That's being a football player and doing all the things that come with that. Even when the times got hard, keeping myself in shape, keeping myself motivated from within, not listening to the naysayers or not giving doubt or worries about will I be able to return.
Just watched him for a long time. I've seen him as a player and then gotten to know him as a person. And, again, I think if you ask all my teammates over the years, more so than throwing touchdown passes or winning games, the relationships and what we build together and how you get to know people is what makes football to me so meaningful in my life. Football is a tough sport. It, demands a lot out of you physically, mentally, emotionally, and there's no shortcut to getting on the same page.
Time now for Worth the Investment, presented by Fisher Investments. And David Carr back with me. Now, you heard Antonio Brown and Tom Brady there. This will be Antonio's third team since 2019. He comes with a lot of baggage, obviously. How do you see this playing out? Is he worth the investment here?
Well, it depends on how long you need this investment. I think when you look at it, what was said right there between Tom Brady and Antonio Brown is exactly right. And he's in the right place. If he's on the field, he's the best player in the NFL as far as a wide receiver goes. Best wide receiver in the NFL. Now, the issue is all the things that were spent the majority of the time talking in the press conference was how can we make sure that we get that version, And is it the avocado ice cream? Is it hanging out with Tom Brady? Yes. And if he's not there, if Tom Brady isn't there, say in 2 years, is Antonio Brown going to be long-term a Tampa Bay Buccaneer? I don't see that. I just don't see it happening. History will tell us that won't happen. How is Mike Evans and Antonio Brown going to coexist? Mike Evans already has issues when he doesn't get the football. Now you have Antonio Brown and Mike Evans asking for the football. That's hard enough for Tom Brady. Imagine if it's not him. So you got to be very careful. I think this is a 1 year, maybe a 2 year investment in Antonio Brown. And then you kind of see what Tom Brady does, and that's when you make the decision on where Antonio goes.
David, I'm right there with you. I think a lot of eyes are on this weekend, what happens in this game, but I think it's the longer term as we get into week 12, 13, 14, and see how those